Hello everyone, I'm Deb and this is DB Designs and Sewing Australia. If you'd like to see a new Be Mine balloon sleeve top by Pattern Emporium and a neater way of finishing the binding on the cuff, stay tuned. Hello everyone, I'm Deb and this is DB Designs and Sewing Australia. Welcome back if you've been on my channel before, and welcome to anybody who's new. And I must say a big shout out and a big thank you to all of the people who have bought me a coffee through my Ko-fi account. It is very much appreciated. Today I'm going to bring you a new Be Mine balloon sleeve top. It's a pattern by Pattern Emporium, and it's this pattern here. And I'm actually making the one with the center front seam and the center back seam and the hem facing. I do like a faced hem, makes things really, really nice. Here's the top here. I will insert photos. It worked out really, really nicely. I do the higher neck one because things turn out so low on the neck for me. Last time I made it, I made a 14. This time I made a 12, just because I find that some things are just getting too big and too baggy. But a very, very nice top. And what I have done is now I will show you in the video how I finished one of the bindings of my sleeve. Now, this is the way Pattern Emporium tell you to do it, which means you've actually done the binding, stitched it down or hand stitched it. I hand stitched mine. And so you've completed the binding and then you sew the side seam and overlock it off, which means that you've got an overlock tail hanging out here that you thread down back through. And I didn't really want that look, and I thought I'm just going to try it this other way, which is this way, and it's much neater. So I attached the binding to the top and I attached it right sides together so that when I was going to fold the fold back in, I was folding it to the inside. So that's really important if you're going to do this method that I'm going to tell you about, or I'm going to show you in the video. So you have to have applied the binding to the right side of the gathered sleeve. So once you've done that, then you can sew the side seam, overlock the side seam, double turn in your binding, and either top stitch it, stitch in the ditch, or if you're like me, hand sew it. And I just think it gives a much better finish. I don't like it when the overlocking comes all the way down to the finished edge. And it's also a good way for people who don't have an overlocker and who are zigzagging the edges. It's a really good way for them to do a very neat finish, because I don't know, even though they tell you to stitch that down, it still is not really, really neat in my mind. So I did one way, the way suggested in the pattern instructions, and one the other way, which is my preferred way. Now, I know there will have been other people that have already done this method. So just a little tip on how to get a really nice finish on your Be Mine balloon sleeve blouse. Now, I wanted to show you a different way of neatening and finishing off the sleeve binding on this is for the Be Mine balloon sleeve blouse by Pattern Emporium. Now, I've done the first one the way Pattern Emporium recommend, the way their instructions are. And so this is the binding. So you sew the binding onto the bottom of the gathered sleeve, and then you turn it over, and you can either machine stitch it down, top stitch it down, stitch in the ditch down. I hand sew it down. And then they get you to sew the side seam, so you're actually sewing the binding in the seam like this, and then you're overlocking all the way to the end, and then you're threading your overlocker threads back through. And I actually hand sew mine down as well, but that's the finish that you get. So you've got the edge, you've got the overlocking coming right to the very, very edge of a finished garment, which is sort of unusual. So I thought I'd show you the other way of doing it. So I've got the sleeve pinned here. This is the bottom, and I'm going to go and sew a seam, but I haven't finished off the binding. So I've still got the binding, has the ability to turn over. So I'm going to sew that now and show you how you can finish it. And I would say it's particularly for people who do not have an overlocker, because if you're having to zigzag that, the ability to make it as neat as you could with an overlocker is not there compared, overlocking is going to be much neater than zigzag, and you don't want threads hanging out of your sleeves. So now we'll sew this, and I'll show you how to finish it off. So I'm starting at the bottom, and it's a 1 centimetre seam allowance. So now you can see this is the binding, and I've sewn all the way to the end, so that once I overlock it, this can be turned over, and it makes it much neater. So now I'm going to overlock it. So now this has all been overlocked, and we've got this seam here like this. So I'm going to press it, because it's me and I have to press everything. But I'll just press it a little bit of the way up, not within an inch of its life like I normally would. Then I will turn it out the other way and press it as well. So now, if we turn that over once, press it all up nicely, turn it over again, start to put some pins in it. So as you can see, that is going to make a much neater end of sleeve where your binding is, to have that turned up rather than have it overlocked all the way to the end. So I just find it's going to be much nicer. I'm just going to hand sew that down so you can see what it looks like finished. So that was just a tip on how to get a really neat finish. Very applicable to the people who do not have an overlocker and who are zigzagging their sleeves. Zigzagging their seams, because it will give you a much neater finish. What am I wearing today? Today I'm wearing the Matchy Perfect Puff Sleeve top, and I'm wearing it with my Quebec denim skirt. And so this is not a terribly wide top, but if you wanted to tuck it in, I don't know, it's like, you don't have to tuck it into your waistband. You can tuck it into belt loops. You can tuck it into your pockets. This has sort of got a slotted part here on this skirt. So you can just do that and slot it in there. If you wanted it to have a tuck look without actually having to tuck it, especially if you've got very high-waisted jeans on, good idea for the tuck is in the coin pocket or in the pocket itself or through the belt loop. It's just another way of styling your clothes, because sometimes if your jeans are really, really high-waisted, it's a long way to put your tuck up, and then it might expose too much of this section of you that you don't want. So look for, can't even stand still, look for a better spot that's lower down and do your tuck there if you wanted to have a tuck. I mean, this shirt's okay, not tucked. Though it's not really white, off-white. Top in the cotton. Now, this cotton I actually got from Super Cheap, and it was when I was in there. And I have to say, it's so dark in their factory, I thought this was crisp white. I find it much easier to buy things online from Super Cheap than I do to go in. I mean, I usually go to Super Cheap when I'm going to the fabric store and Drapers and Darn Cheap in, I think it's Brunswick or Collingwood, practically the same place. And to all those other fabric stores in basically the rag trade district of Melbourne. So I do go to Super Cheap, but let's just say they're not really, really helpful. And, well, they're not a retail store as such. So you're actually going into the factory. So, you know, I guess by going in there, you're taking time out of their day. So I actually prefer to shop online with them. But all the other ones I don't. There's heaps of fabric stores all within cooey of each other. So I got this cotton there, and I don't think it costs very much. It probably cost $6 a metre. So I probably got a blouse for $12. So really, really happy with it, and certainly will wear it. And it's quite, and so because it's so see-through, that's why I thought I would do the seam in the front. I've had plenty of fabric to do a, to put this on the fold, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that seam in the back and the seam in the front with the top stitching, just for effect, because I think that looks nice. I did consider top stitching down my darts and then decided against it. Not really sure why. I just, at the last minute, I decided I wouldn't stitch down my darts. But it is the top with the faced hem. And I do love a faced hem. This top hasn't got a faced hem, but it's easy for you to make. What, did I tell you what this top was? The Matchy Perfect Puff Sleeve top. And this was the Van Gogh fabric from the Dahlia Sewciety from the bespoke box. And I know, now the April bespoke box, which you think is the 14th of April, that's going to be released, is a Matisse. So a Matisse inspired box. So that's really exciting. It's exciting for someone like me that studied art. So yes, but this is the cotton that I got from Super Cheap. Actually will even look okay with that black denim skirt. So that's my makes for today. Please like and subscribe, and please leave any comments. I love your comments, absolutely love them. And don't forget about our Sew Autumn Denim Challenge that's being run by the Sewists of Oz. And there's 2 fabulous prizes, and that is the June bespoke box from the Dahlia Sewciety And also another prize of a $50 voucher for the Dahlia Society. So that is very generous. Thank you, Kristen. Very much appreciated. And we also have a 24% discount on denim for weft and warp in the ACT. So I will leave all the details of those things below, but join in the fun. And you can make anything denim. It can be a bag, it can be a dog's outfit. It can be anything you like. Some sort of decor item or, you know, housey item or a cushion. Actually, once I did see a chair upholstered in a whole lot of different denims, which looked really, really cool. Anyway, that's all from me today. As I said, don't forget to join in the Sew Autumn Denim fun. And I'll see you over on Instagram. All the details are below. Have a great week. Bye.